I do want to thank everyone for coming down. I have a couple things I'd like to say, if you don't mind. You know, in Godfather Part 2, Hyman Roth asked Michael Corleone to be his partner. And Michael finally realized that Hyman Roth, although he said, be my partner because I'm dying and I need someone to take over, Hyman thought he would never die. And so he wasn't looking for a partner, he was looking to knock off his competition. So, since I've been in mayor from probably the 12th year on, an issue has come up, and those issues come up, and I end up running again. One time it was because the manager at the time was thinking of running for county legislature, and I didn't want her to leave, and me leave at the same time. The next time we just bought the Shawanga Country Club, and the manager passed away, and I felt someone had to be on board for that. And then this time came around, and I was pushed by some people that said, look, you know, Cresco is coming in, the Neverly, this, that. Okay, I'll run again. Not yet. Anyways, the bottom line is this. I want to thank the community. They've supported me for over 40 years in all of my dreams and passions to be part of this community and help put it where it is today. And if I wasn't told it's time for somebody else to take over, I probably would have stayed. And the bottom line is this: I'm going to be 72 years old. I have 2 full-time jobs. It's time to have 1 full-time job. So, thank you. In 1980, when I first ran for political office, one of the arguments was Kaplan, he's 27 years old, he's running for judge, he doesn't really just want to be a judge, he's going to use it as a stepping stone. They didn't really know me. I love municipal government. I hate politics, which is weird because I am a politician, but I hate it anyways. But I love municipal government, and I think the government closest to the people does the most for the people. As you go up the ladder, it costs you more, and they do less for you. So I always wanted to stay here. I would have rather been a mayor than a congressman, quite frankly, because you can get done much more done for your community. One of the things we did early on was we did a neighborhood walk. And the neighborhood walk we did with a pad. We invited the people in the neighborhood to walk with us to tell us what was wrong with your neighborhood, what can we do to rectify things there. And as we went on, we found that there was less to write on the pad than there had been before, because things in the communities and the neighborhoods started to look up. And there was one person in particular that helped make that happen. And I want to emphasize that because sometimes he's looked at as the bad guy in the community, but I'm talking about Levy Heck. Levy bought probably 100 properties in the village and renovated them and resold them in the open market. Now, what's the importance of that? We have a community, and the essence of Ellenville, which is really why I got involved here. I just love the concept of a small community, pretty close to New York City, in which everybody's known by their name, and people of all religions, ethnicity, racial, get along pretty well, and if we don't, we have Maud Bruce to help us out. And there are 2 things that can challenge that. Number one is, I hate to use the word gentrify, but if we gentrify Ellenville, we lose one of the biggest things we have here, which is our diversification. And number 2, and I know a lot of people don't like to talk about this, but number 2 is if we become another Bloomingburg. And I know there's a lot of concern and fear about that here. And quite frankly, I fought very hard to keep this community as diversified as possible since I've been in office. And one of the problems you have in Ellenville is there's not a lot of money to deal with. You really need people with private money to come in and partner with you. And Levy has done a great job with that, because what happens in these communities that really become one religion or one ethnicity is that it starts with the lower properties, the real estate, the undervalued properties, the properties that are on your list but nobody's worked on them for a long time, and so you can pick them up real cheap. And suddenly you find in some communities that there are 30 and 40 and 50 properties that have been bought up by one sect in particular. Why didn't that happen in Ellenville? Why did it happen in Monticello, and it happened in Liberty, and it happened in communities around here? And the answer is very simple. Levy Heck. Levy bought these properties that would otherwise have been bought up and rectified, renovated them, and sold them on the open market. And so the base that you have when communities start to turn over didn't happen in Ellenville. And I think that that's got to be recognized, because a lot of times people say, oh, Levy Heck is buying a property, we're going to become another Bloomingburg. The reason we haven't is Levy Heck. I want to thank you, Levy, since nobody else is doing it, for what you've done for our community. What I'm going to miss most about having been mayor for 22 years is the staff here, the other trustees I've dealt with. Ray Younger, right? Yeah. I've worked with Ray for 22 years. At one point, somebody said when we went to a meeting, and that's another beauty of Ellenville, is that if you notice these boards, none of them look like you. They're all a bunch of white guys that are sitting on these boards in most communities. And I looked at our board and I said, geez, the guy who looks the most like me is Ray Younger.
Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, I said thank you. So, it's been great working with the board. The staff here has been terrific. The police department have been terrific. The courts have been great to work with, so I'm going to miss that probably more than anything. Finally, I'd like to mention my wife. One of the good things I did as mayor is I changed the meetings from 7 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And Zori, you're going to appreciate this too, because you're going to still have Monday nights with Evan. And by the way, while I'm on Evan, I couldn't be more excited that you're the next mayor. I wish you the best of luck. And again, remember, you're going to be working with a little money and a lot of ideas, so you got to make those work. So, and I'm excited to see what Evan does with this position. But back to Marla. So, Marla has allowed me to go forward with my dreams and passions and what I would love Ellenville to look like. I've gone to bed every night thinking, how can I make Ellenville a better place to live? And when I'm wrong, she'll tell me. I was wrong about that. I walk through Ellenville with her a lot, and she will point out all the things that have to be rectified. I usually, that neighborhood walk with the pad, I don't need it anymore because I can just walk around with a pad with Marlon. She'll tell me everything that has to be resolved. But when the meeting ends on Monday night, there's nothing more exciting for me than to get in my car and go home to be with my wife. So, again, I want to thank the community for everything you guys have done for this community. This couldn't be done without you. I'm excited about what we've done over the last 22 years. I'm excited to see what Evan will do. He's already told me it won't be the next 22 years, but for at least the next 4 to 8 years. And let's keep on making Ellenville a great place to live.